Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch. Every once in a while, we talk about something else crafty, but it's been a while, and today is no exception. It is all cross stitch. If you are new, welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play. I really appreciate it. I hope you like what you see. Hit like, hit subscribe, come back for more. I love interacting with everybody, new and, I don't want to say old, long-time friends, stitchy friends. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and supporting my stitching and stitching with me and interacting with me. I really appreciate it. It has been a morning. It's taken me a little longer to get started than I normally do, but we're just gonna kind of run with it. And we've got a lot to talk about today. I got a lot of stitching because I had to finish early on in one of my stitching days. I got an extra piece in, so we've got lots of stitching to look at today. So let's just jump right in. I'm not going to show you the original on my finish because it's done and it's a digital. You don't need to see it the digital form. I'll just show you the finished. Last week I talked about how for car stitching I was working on Joy to the World from Primrose Cottage Stitches, and I had another car ride, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna work on that on the car ride back to Delaware, and I got it done partway through, actually, and we left really early, so I couldn't stitch when we first started because it was too dark. So super excited. These are quick stitches, these small little pieces. If you are looking for something quick, either for a gift or you want to add some more to your tree, if you're making ornaments or pillows for a dough bowl or something, they are great options for you. So this is what the finish looks like. This is done on an 18 count beach glass from Vintage Needlearts. So it's a very, very light green, very light green. In some lights, you might not even realize that, but I thought it would be really good against the red and the darker green, and it was. Now, I don't know about, just a quick FYI, later versions of this pattern might be fine. I originally bought this pattern over a year ago, and there was one or two little goofs and errors. There's only two colors. One of the symbols was wrong, but it was easy to figure out which one it was. And I think there might have been something else. I just referred to the picture and I was able to figure it out. But I pulled out, remember I talked about there was a set of 3 of these, and I thought I had done one and I still needed to do another. Well, when I was going through my completed pieces, I realized I'd done 2 out of the 3. So now all 3 are done. And they're done in all different color fabrics. So that's kind of fun. I thought I'd show you. This one is called Jingle All the Way. And that's kind of a lighter blue that I chose for that one. If any of these, I don't know off the top of my head what they are. If there's a color you want me to look up, I can. I'd have it in my record somewhere. So that's Jingle All the Way. This one's Let It Snow. I thought that's cute on that blue. And actually that's great blue for snowman, snow, and the Joy to the World. So let me see if I can, they're all 18 count Ada, so it's all gonna be all the same small size. So that's the 3 of them in the 3 different colors. There's so many choices. You could just go crazy with what you wanted to stitch it on. These I had thought would look cute. I don't have, eventually back here, this wall, we want like kind of, I think they're called console tables, I'm not sure. That there's minimal storage, but also just, you know, kind of a decorative. I think at some point I would like a little tabletop tree, and whether or not these would go on something like that, because they're small, they probably would work just fine, or make them ornaments for a regular tree. I didn't bring my glue gun down. I have some of my tapes, but I don't have the glue gun, and I don't have any of my fabrics or anything, so I can't finish any of these down here. That's the problem, kind of going in between what supplies I bring where. But those are the 3. This is the most current finish. These are all from Primrose Cottage Stitch, and I believe they're all single patterns. So if you don't like one of them, you can just pick and choose what you like. You know, and this one, if you don't celebrate Christmas, this one's great for winter. So that's my finish. It was a tiny finish. you could sit down if you're a fast stitcher and probably work on something like this in a few hours and have it done. So if you needed, like I said, a quick ornament, if you wanted to put it on a card, if you wanted to make a little pillow, and obviously I'm using 18 count. It would be larger. I don't have the measurements of what it would be a little bit larger on, say, a 1428 type of count. So that's my finish. Alrighty. I am gonna move a couple things. I brought myself a glass of water in case my allergies have been kicking in. Yesterday was beautiful. We've had a run of kind of warmer weather. So, and I don't know exactly, it's different kind of trees down here. I'm allergic to trees, grass, you name it, outside I'm allergic to it. And down here is no exception. I'm allergic to whatever is here. So I'm still feeling the effects of a stuffy nose. All right, so that was my one finish. And then I got a hold of a bunch of projects that you've seen here and there. And let's just show you. This one I stitched yesterday. Yesterday was kind of we had the painters in to fix all of the spots where the drywallers had covered the nail pops and all that. So I was kind of moving around from room to room with Shamrock because he would bark like crazy if he was anywhere near them. And so I would kind of get started and stop. So I thought this one might be a good one because I could do like little pieces. So it's Cinnamon Stars, and I haven't done this one in a while. I really like to try to go through and pick out some that are either old, which you'll see one. I don't think I stitched on it at all this year, or semi-old, so that I feel like I'm still putting some time into the patterns. This one is Plum Street Samplers. I had been concentrating on Betsy's Autumn more than this one, so I thought I would pull this one out this time. And because it has the little bits and pieces, I felt like I could, do a few snowflakes. So that's what it looks like. And that's exactly what I did. So I worked on snowflakes, I worked on this guy, and then a little bit later, when I was sitting somewhere else, I started to pull off. This side of the house is just like this. So you've got all the different pieces of rocks, and then you'll see there's a lighter color in there as well to fill it all in, so it's like a stone kind of facade. So I worked on that as well, and I think I filled in maybe one or two of those. So it was just little bits and pieces. Since it was kind of a jumbled, we had, not only did the painters come, but somebody needed to fix the water heater, he came. The guy that needed to do something in the crawl space came. So the doorbell was ringing and Shamrock was barking and people were coming and going a little bit, taking them in different places. So this was the extent of it. But it's a fun one. This is 18 count Honey Amber by Fabrics by Stephanie. It is the exact same fabric that I am using for Betsy's Autumn, if you remember that one. And as with Betsy's Autumn, I'm still torn about the pumpkin colors. This one actually doesn't look, it matches the colors without being brown, too brown. Because I noticed a lot of times with some of these, with these shades of colors, the DMC alternative, they pick a brown, 436 or something along those lines as their alternative to the variegated. So I have to look to see what those are. That may work, but there's a row of pumpkins here on the fence, and I just want to make sure that they kind of go with what I'm looking for. And I have said before, I don't know if I'll do it 100%, but if I find something I like, I might coordinate those with Betsy's Autumn, because Betsy's Autumn has that row of pumpkins. So we'll see. Cinnamon Stars. Okay. When it'll come out again, I don't know. That's not an every week type of thing. This one I wanted to kind of lit a fire under myself. I said, Laura, this is not going to take that long to stitch. You got to put some time into it. I still have a few more stitching sessions for it. It's not going to be done one more kind of stitching day, but November Cottage from Country Cottage Needleworks. I'm just so close to getting this set done. So that's what it looks like. It's a little bit different than a lot of them in the sense of the color scheme, but it screams November. And that's where I've gotten. This is done on 18 count Vintage Country Mocha, but it is the unprinted side. So Vintage Country Mocha is, as many of you know, is a printed fabric, and I am doing it on the opposite side. So this is more of a taupe, maybe, I guess. Less brown than what the printed side would have. It would look fine on the other as well. They're just doing these as a set now. I am doing all the DMC alternatives I have with the entire series. I haven't done any variegated. And I really just, this was tree time. We got the trees, we got the little row of acorns. I think I finished filling in the windows. So it's getting there. This was a lot of stop and start, getting all of the leaves in. So that was my what I was concentrating on. At this point, I think there's a little turkey over here. I'm looking at the picture, and I don't have my reading glasses on, so I have to look underneath it. Yeah, turkey, and then more leaves, and then a repeat from here down there, and that'll be done. So that's what it looks like. But again, a lot of stop and start. The turkey's got a bunch of different colors. So I'm not optimistic that it would be one more stitching day. It might be two. But we're getting there. Country Cottage Needleworks. I know some of you have done those. Some of you are doing them. All right, next. Oh, I'm so excited about this one. So I talked about with you all last week about how Jardin Prive, I wanted to potentially pull in some Etoile for Lady Halloween. So this is what the original pattern looks like. And she's got it charted in two ways. You can either do a completely monochromatic black, or she's got black and then a deeper gray and a lighter gray. Now I'm doing it in the three colors. And for her charting, she had charted the hair for Lady Halloween as the darker gray, which would be fine. But I thought, wouldn't it be fun if I pulled in some Etoile and maybe make her hair sparkle a little bit? I hope it shows up on here. And I decided I wanted to go with purple. Maybe partly because purple, it's on purple fabric, as well as just, I like purple. No getting around it, I like purple. So I thought it'd be fun for her hair. So that's what I did. Now, Etoile, there's the two purples, and I meant to write them down, and this morning was a morning, as I mentioned. Usually I'm a little bit more organized. So there's C550 and C554. Let me see if I can, I just have them in the little skeins here that they come in. So originally I was like, well, I'll go with the darker, because I think that would go nicely on the purple. But I also had, when I opened up, I had bought, when Michael's had a 50% off coupon, I went and I bought the tin of Etoile. So I have all the Etoile colors. I don't know, it's a 30 something. And so I felt like I got a good deal on it. So I have all of them. So when I opened it up to grab this, I said, oh, but there's also this other purple. And in the meantime, Carla from Carla Being Crafty, a fantastic Flosstuber. If you are not watching Carla, she's so talented and does such great work. From full coverages to little tiny pieces, beading, you name it, she does it. Watch her if you're not. I love her. But Carla herself has purple hair. She's, but it's beautiful. It's different shades of purple. It's not just one. And so Carla had commented on this video talking about how she was all for the purple hair, obviously. And it got me thinking about her. And I said, her hair with the different kinds of purple, different shades, is so awesome. I love it. And I said, why can't I do that for my Lady Halloween? So what I ended up doing was I took a strand of 550 and a strand of 554. I put them together. I'm doing 2 strands on my 18 count, so that was fine. And stitched it that way and mixed and matched. So, I mean, it's not as vibrant as Carla's, but I thought it was kind of cool because now it's got kind of shading in her hair. And that's the long-winded way of showing, okay, so this is what it looks like total. And then I have to show, all I did was work on the witch, her hair. That took a while. There's a lot of counting in that. But there it is. I don't know if the sparkle's gonna show. In person, you get pieces of sparkle. I have no idea on the screen if it's gonna show. So basically, At any given point, I have a lighter or darker purple, and it's kind of mixed in. Etoile I used, somebody had asked me if it's the same. It's 6-stranded, if you've not used it before, just like the regular DMC. It's fluffier though. It's not, I don't know exactly how it's made. I know many of you would. And it's got just a slight sparkle. So you're not getting massive sparkle like you would with a metallic thread. But everybody says those are really hard to work with. So I haven't actually worked with those yet. I've stuck with the Etoile. But otherwise, I did exactly the same thing. Now, normally I would do a loop start if I was doing my 2 strands and give myself the 2 strands that way. Obviously, because I wanted to do 2 different colors, I couldn't do that. But I threaded the needle the same way I would. I just stitched the same way, and it came out like that. So that's her entire hair. I got all of that done. Had a little bit extra time, so I did a little bit down there. But deciding on the colors and actually doing it, and I did use, and I don't know if it's just my imagination, but I did use smaller lengths of the thread with the Etoile than I would have if I was using straight DMC, regular DMC. I don't know if it would have started to like fray or unravel, I guess. So I decided that I was going to do smaller, so that meant I stopped and started a lot more often. And like I said, that's a lot of counting because there's a lot of spaces in between. But that's where we are. This is an 18-count Smoky Amethyst from To Die For Fabrics. And I absolutely love it. I'm so happy that I went with the Etoile. Thank you so much to everybody who encouraged me, and you've given me ideas for the bubbles, for the cauldron. So I haven't gotten there yet. So I have thoughts, and I'll play around. I haven't decided what exactly I'm doing or color or anything like that, but I'm really super excited that I went with the Etoile for the hair. So thank you everybody for your encouragement. So that's Lady Halloween. We do have a Sal stitch along going along if you wanted to either check it out or start it yourself. It's hashtag ladyhalloweensal, S-A-L, all one word. And I haven't put it with her hair on Instagram yet, but I'm the world's worst Instagrammer. I look at other people's posts, and I've said this before, I just don't think to post myself. It just, later on I'll be like, oh gosh, I should have done that, but I hadn't, so. But I'm super proud of her hair, so I might have to post on there. But there are some great stitches going on for that, Sal, if you want to see some ideas, or jump in yourself. And I had gotten this pattern straight from the Jardin Prive website, and I got it as a digital. If you need, I don't know if I link it down below. If you need help finding it or linking it, let me know, and I'll help you out. That was all of my kind of non-Christmassy stitching. Then I kind of went Christmas mode for some stuff. So I'm grabbing my iPad here. So you know one of the first ones. I didn't do Autumn Town this week. I did, this next one I did as my kind of 30-minute throw in a strand or two a day kind of piece. And maybe I'll switch back and forth and work on Autumn Town some more, because I do love that one. And I know a lot of you like it too. This is called Christmas Town from Stitchrovia. And that's what it looks like. I thought this one would be a good couple strands a day or half an hour a day, because you're constantly changing colors anyway. So why not just do it in that sense? And that's where we are. This is an 18 count, just straight white opal. Nothing fancy. And in some cases, and you'll notice it more, I haven't gotten to the path yet, but here I'm leaving it open so you can see the sparkle. That should be all white stitching. And in the windows, they actually do keep it open, so that wasn't a conscious effort on my part, but the path I will keep it unstitched as well. So I had been stitching over here, and I might have put this in this past week, I don't remember. 7 days ago was a long time ago. But for some reason I decided I wanted to come over this area. So this whole area right here is a lot of what I focused on. And again, you are constantly changing colors and counting and this and that. So I'm proud of what I got done, even though it was like a little project each day. So it's getting there, but this'll take a while. It'll be worth it when it's done, but it's gonna take a while. So that's Stitchrovia. I think I have I have 3 more pieces. I told you I did a lot this week. After I finished Joy to the World in the car, I thought this one might be a good one to pull out. It's a little bit bigger, but it works in some chunks of straight color. So I pulled out Prairie Schooler Christmas Tree Farm, because I can focus on either like a tree or a house. And what I've been trying to do is I set little goals for myself and say, this day, let's try to get a tree and a house done. Now, when I get to something like this house, that's big. So that might be the only goal of the day. But this house, he's kind of small and so on and so forth. So, you know, I mean, I have options that way. So that's what I decided to do. And here you go so far. This is also an 18 count white opal. I had this pattern, I've had it for quite some time. And I always knew I kind of wanted to do it in the white opal. And in the meantime, I had started the Stitchrovia way after this. But I had originally bought whatever the piece I had gotten from Amazon or whatever. Oh no, I think it was 1, 2, 3 stitch. The piece was big enough that I was able to pull a few different pieces and have some left over. So that's what I did. So this week, I think I started to focus and I did all this. And I did the house. So this part and the house might have been this week's focus. The one thing I don't know what I'm doing with yet is the windows of the houses. They're stitched in white. Whether or not I just leave them without stitching them in white or I stitch them in a different color, maybe very pale like yellow to look like there were lights on in the houses. I don't know yet. That's something to be determined. I am not stitching the border, and I am going to change out the moon and the stars because it's charted in the same color as its path, which is it's like a very dull gold. I talked about this last week. And I kind of want something a little bit different for up here. I know somebody has suggested like a silver, which I think would go nicely. I'm going to look and see what kind I want to use, whether I want to use a, is it Smoky? Or if I want to use something DMC. I know they have some at the store. Or I know also, you know who has some kind of sparkly ones is Cosmo. So I was looking at those. I really don't know what I'll do yet with that. I don't want it to be like bright in your face because these colors are definitely more muted. And maybe something that would kind of work nicely with the sparkle on the opal itself. But that's where it's coming. And again, I will just keep plugging away and picking little sections. You know, this would be nice. You could pick a couple trees. As I continue with the houses, that's an easy one to say, okay, today's focus will be a house. Let's see if I can get a house finished. And things like that. So there we go. And at some point, those little guys are cute too. So they'd be fun to stitch. That's what we've got. That's Christmas Tree Farm. Right? Yes, Christmas Tree Farm. I have one more that is a already started project, and then I have a new start. Let me grab my iPad for a second. Now this next one, I've had it in my pile. I started it last year. I started it at the end of last year. And I got, you know, a decent chunk done, but it's a Christmas one. And then I kind of put it away for the season, and it hasn't come out yet in 2021 at all. So I said, and I would look through it, and every once in a while I'd say, oh, do I want to stitch on this? And I decided finally it was time. So this week I pulled it back out for the first time in 2021. And it is I really enjoy their stitches. It's Stone Street Stitch. They're on Etsy. I can link them down below if you would like. Now I changed up this pattern a little bit. I'm not stitching everything in it. So this is called 'Twas a Fair Night. And the full pattern looks like this, and you get all of this. For this stitch, I am just stitching the house. I have stitched this separately, which I will show you, and what I would love to do plans-wise with that. And I've not stitched this, which is beautiful. I'd be curious how I'd want to use it, but I would love to stitch it at some point because, again, it's beautiful. I had the top portion done, and I really focused on this set of red and white right there that you're going to see. So let me show you that part first, and I think I have the fabric in here because I forgot to write it down. Yes, I do. Okay. So that's where I am so far. This is an 18 count gingerbread from Fabrics by Stephanie. There are lots of variations of different, I know some of my color and cottons are somewhere along these lines. I had gotten this piece of gingerbread. I have it in here. I don't know why, but it's really pretty from Fabrics by Stephanie ages ago. Obviously sometime last year, since I started this last year. And I really do like Stone Street's patterns on neutrals. You know that I don't do, I like neutrals, but I also like to throw in color as well. But certain designs just lend themselves to me to this kind of neutral. And Stone Street, I've probably done every single one of the patterns that I've stitched on it on some sort of neutral because I really do enjoy it that much. And I really like how the colors pop against that. This is a lot of little counting. So I did the white first, and now after I had done all the white, filling in the red is much easier. I was watching a Hallmark Christmas movie while I was doing this, and I think I came down here a little bit too. But I have 2 more rows, one that's small, if you'll see, kind of like, what is it? Just designs, X's and diamonds, and then the Christmas tree, the tree sort of design, and then the other side of the house. So I am almost halfway done with this house. And this was a lot of counting. The next design will be a little bit easier because it's much more repetitive. They're all repetitive, but you have to really pay attention for that one. But I would like to keep going on this one. Now that I've started it back, there's really no reason it should sit until Christmas of 2022. So I might try to focus a little bit on this one in the coming weeks. And I did want to show you, because I had stitched last year that snowflake. I'm calling it a snowflake. It could be snowflake star, whatever, over it. And I stitched it on, I don't remember, I can look up, it might be Mystic, what this fabric is. It's from Picture This Plus. My goal would be, and it doesn't really matter, it's the same each way. My goal would be, I would love to stitch this multiple times on all sorts of jewel tones. So a beautiful jewel tone, maroon or pink, burgundy, a jewel tone of some sort of green. I've got the blue. If I could find like a teal jewel tone, something like that. Now they're small and I don't really sew, and I don't have a dough bowl. So I wouldn't do pillows necessarily, but you could certainly, depending on the size, you could have a beautiful arrangement of them in the different jewel tones. These would also be as ornaments if they wanted to be on a standalone piece and just have these in the different shades. I thought that was probably my focus there. You could make a little bit of garland out of this depending on what colors you chose and however you wanted to put it. There's lots of different things you could do with something like this, or I could have stitched it above the house if I had wanted to. But this one is beautiful because you've got the main pattern and then you've got multiple different pieces that you can do other things with. Whether or not I do any more this year on this, I don't know. I think I might have kind of if I have a burgundy, I'm not sure. I have to look to see what I have. It's not easy finding those jewel tones a lot of times in some of the fabrics. So that'll probably be my biggest sticking point, is to see if I can do that. But that is the idea with that, and that's why. And this was probably a one-day stitch, most likely. If you could sit down and spend a couple hours on it, as far as I could tell. Just a straight white, I think. So that's the other part that I had done last year with that. So we're just plugging along on that one. And that is it for my current projects that I had not started before. And I had one new start. And I talked about doing this last week because I did want to get this one stitched. And it's smaller than I thought. So I made a lot of extra work for myself this week, but now that I kind of have an idea of where I'm going, it'll go fast. It's Candy Cane Lane from Stitching with the Housewives. That's what it looks like originally. I'm not stitching it in black. I think it looks great on black, and I'm not opposed to using black fabric. I just like a lot of their patterns on other colors to kind of bring the colors out in a different way. Now, you'll notice here, it's stitched, the Candy Cane Lane part is stitched in white. And that's what I originally did, because this color fabric, I know the snow looks great on it. Well, white writing didn't look quite as good, especially because it's small. So let me show you, and then I'll talk. This is what I ended up with. 18 count Whimsical from Color and Cotton. So I am doing that Heart and Hand Santa 2020, 2019? I don't know, whichever one he is. I didn't work on him this week. I'm doing that on this Whimsical. And he's got, white in him, and there's some snow and whatever. And it looks great. But when I had put the words in, because you'll see they're small, they kind of jumbled together. And I like to be able to see the words and not have to go right, I don't have the world's best eyesight. So I don't want to have to go right up to something to kind of read what it says. So I'd done Candy, and I was like, oh, I don't know. So then I decided, okay, for Cane, let me take a strand of the red that's called for other parts of the pattern and take a strand of the white and mix it. So it'd be like a candy cane, cute, And I did the word cane in that. Still couldn't read it very well. You could kind of, and it was cute with the two different colors, but it was still not really resonating. So then I had to pull out the word candy, and I had to pull out the word cane, which took forever. I said, let's go straight red. And on this blue, on this Whimsical, I love how the red looks. So the long and the short of it is, the only thing I got stitched on this pattern was the words Candy Cane Lane. And it's not, I mean, you can see this is almost halfway. This is the width of it. Maybe there's a couple snowflakey things, but that's basically the width. And then you look down here. It's probably like a 2.5 by 3.5 on the 18 count. So it's not gonna be tons. I am also switching this house color. They have it charted in, she likes Classic Colorworks, really tealy. And the DMC alternative was $5.98. And I just wasn't feeling it with this fabric. So I picked, I wanna say, when I do it, I'll tell you definitively. I wanna say it's $9.31. I'm not 100% sure. But it came from that snowman pattern, and I liked how it looked against this blue better than the $5.98 tealy would look. And because I'm kind of going a little bit stronger with the words being in the red and everything else, I wanted that blue to be more blue and not kind of the teal. I actually have the $5.98 here. You can see it was kind of blending in, and I just wanted something that would just jump out a bit more. So when I get to that part, which hopefully will be, if I work on this week, I can show you that, because I would do, the middle house is the one that's the teal or the blue that I'm doing. I'll do that one first, and then I'll jump off of those. So you'll get a chance to see it. But super quick stitch, this is in, I don't know, either their tidbit, Twas, or whatever they call it, or what are their other ones called? I don't know. They have the different patterns and sets. It's one of those small digitals that you get from their website. I don't think you can get them as paper patterns or printed, printed patterns, unless sometimes they combine some. But it'll be a quick stitch if you were looking for a quick stitch, something Christmassy. So yeah, so that's my start. And that's my stitching. I told you, I did a lot. I had 8 pieces this week because I had that quick finish on The Joy to the World. And I just kept changing out each day, except for Christmas Town, which saw a full week's worth. Plans, I have no clue at all. keep stitching some of my stitches, maybe try to bring back something else, and just keep going. We'll see. Next week being Thanksgiving week, and we will have family here, could be a slow stitching week anyway. So there might not be much stitching all that much accomplished next week. So plans, Thanksgiving is kind of my plans to a certain degree. So we'll see. Shopping. I got part of my about a third of my 1, 2, 3 stitch order did come in when I had ordered it. And last week I had a lot of fabric, so I didn't bother showing it. And this is mostly, it's all patterns here. I have a few more patterns coming, a couple more, and a couple pieces of fabric that I wanted to try. I haven't really tried a lot of Picture This Plus because, you know, it's a looser weave. But I really like the jade, which I don't think I could get anyway. I tried to, and that was all sold out. But I really like the jade, so I said, and I buy the smaller pieces to start with to see if I like the color and how it feels. And if it's something I love, like the jade, then I would buy a bigger piece. So that's pieces that I have that'll be new to me when I get them. But I picked up the 2021 Heart and Hand Wee Santa. I thought he was cute. And I'm really enjoying the 2020. So I picked him up. And then this, I love this series. I don't have all of them. Eventually, maybe I will. But you know, it's a summer one. I have to do this one. Kind of summer beachy-ish. Number 8 in the summer Time for All Seasons. This one's called Summer at the Shore from Cottage Garden Samplings. So you knew that had to make its way. I think one of the back ordered pieces from 1, 2, 3 Stitch might be the turkey for the number 11 piece, and I love the Santa from number 12. I know he's not been released yet to stores. I don't think. I think he'll be soon released, but so he'll be at some point too. I really liked him too. And I don't know if you follow Cottage Garden Samplings. I think I follow their group on Facebook. I don't know, on Facebook and Instagram, I confuse them all the time. But they did a little sneak peek of next year's series. It's going to be a 12-month series, and it's really cute. I think it's something in the forest, and the first one they show is a fox. So look out for that if you are interested. So that's that one. I did pick myself up one of these Deck the Halls, like the one that I'm doing as a giveaway for you all. For me, I think I would love to do the little pieces on their own and have them as little tiny minis. And then I picked up, one of these days, my goal is I really, really, really want to do like a Mill Hill type of thing. And I have a different Christmas one. So this is the second Christmas one. This is Jim Shore, Best Friend Santa. You see he's holding the little puppy. I didn't take it out of the basket just because of all the, or out of the plastic because of all the stuff, because it's the full kit. I have another one where a different Santa is holding, I don't know if he's in the dog's in the sleigh, and the dog reminds me of Shamrock. You know me. Anything that's adorable and anyone sort of reminds me of Shamrock, then I am all for it. So one of these days I am going to try these because I really do want to have my introduction to beads be a Mill Hill. I figured that's a nice, easy way to do it. I've never used the perforated paper, but when I stitch in hand, I don't do the sewing method. It doesn't work left-handed for me for whatever reason. I do the stab and pull type of thing. So I think that's what you do with perforated paper more so. So it should be fine that way. It's not gonna be anything unusual to me. It's just a matter of finding a place to kind of, I think up in Connecticut, I might have small little containers that I might be able to put beads in, because I'm just worried with all the pieces trying to figure out how to do the kits. And then just sit down and start one. So I picked that up. I tried to last year. It was in my wish list of 1, 2, 3. I was gonna get it, and then it sold out, and it was sold out through Christmas, and it just stayed in my wish list. And then when I went shopping, I saw that it was available, so I said, yeah, I'm gonna grab it. So that's it from 1, 2, 3. And then the other thing I did was I had made an order from dovestitch.com. I did their Etsy shop. So they have an Etsy shop, and then they have a standalone called dovestitch.com, and they basically sell the fabric flare. And what was interesting was in this order I had gotten, and I've thrown it out. I did a quick glance. It's a little piece of paper, you know, it says, you know, thank you for your order, you know, feel free to leave us reviews, all that, because I think it was the Etsy. And they talked about their Fabric Flare line might be some more traditionals, and then their Dove Street, which is certainly as traditionals, you're gonna see just some printed, you know, modeled fabrics, but they also do the more designed printed. So you might have a full Christmas holiday, like a winter scene, and then you stitch something above it. Or there's Harlequins, and there's all sorts of different things. So their Dove Stitch line is a little bit more adventurous, I guess is the way to put it, versus the little bit more traditional from their Fabric Flare. It's all the same in the sense of it's all printed fabric. It's just plain, like this one is just white on the opposite side. There's nothing on it. And then the front is printed. So I had picked up, I had picked up the wrong thing. I'm gonna show you what I wanted instead. So at some point I have to place an order. But I had wanted, there was one thing I really wanted, and then I decided, I'll just pick up a couple of extra colors. You can never have too much gray or blue. You know that's my motto. So I picked up a gray and I picked up a blue. This one was called Hazy Gray, Dyed Effect. So there you go. These are all 18 count white Adas, or 18 count Adas, printed fabrics. So that's called Hazy Gray. I thought that was nice. You go lots of different things with that. This one, a lot of times they print what the name of it is on the top here. Like for example, this one says Hazy Gray on top. This one doesn't have it. I'm almost sure, and if you wanted me to check, I will. I'm almost sure this is a denim-ish, but I'm not 100% sure. But a blue, because you know, I have to have blues at all times. And then this last one, this one was called Snow on Blue. And remember that little teeny tiny snowman I did a couple weeks ago that I showed you? This was the idea, the fabric that I wanted to stitch it on. Well, this is too blue compared to what I was looking for. So this one's called Snow on Blue. This blue is bright. I'm not exactly sure what kind of blue you'd call it, but it's definitely a brighter blue. What I meant to order was Snowflakes with Aqua Dyed Effect, and it's that one. So it's a little bit lighter. I thought the guy might look good on that. So at some point I want to order that, and then I'll compare them. And like I said, I'd like to stitch that little guy and it would look like he's out in a field with snow. So this one is called Snowflakes on Blue, if you were looking for something like that. And at some point down the line, I will have the Snowflakes with Aqua Dyed Effect, and I can show you the difference when I get them. I just have to sit down and get on Etsy. So, and that's it. That's all my shopping. Yeah, I don't necessarily know if and what maybe or may not be coming. There's a shop on Etsy that's got some digital patterns I've been eyeballing, and they're having a sale. And I really should jump on it before the sale ends because I'll kick myself. I think it's a 50% off sale. So if I get that, I will show you. And I think that's all I've really been eyeballing at this point. I loved the Cottage Garden samplings that came out. The Santa, I'm trying to think if there was anything else new that's come out that really caught my fancy. Nothing that I can remember. We'll see. Giveaways. We have a lot of giveaway business to do. So, last week I chose the winner for the pouch. This week I'm doing the Primrose, but 2 weeks ago, if you remember, Green Terrace, which is a digital pattern site on Etsy, had a listing where you could get 5 single pieces and in the one order. So I placed I ordered it from them, and she basically said, when I have a winner, have the winner pick 5 single pieces, let me know, I'll send it along with my order number so she knows which order it goes with, and she would send them to the winner. When with my giveaways, I give 2 weeks, notice with a reminder in between. as you can see, I'm already now, this will be 4 giveaways that I'm going to be holding. So I just can't keep holding them. So that's why I usually ask, please check, within 2 weeks. And if for whatever reason you accidentally said the word and your name gets pulled, feel free, don't feel bad. You can say, you know what, I didn't mean to put my name in if you ever win. And that's cool too. I'll just pick a new name. But I always keep the names. They end up in a nice little sandwich bag because I only have the 1 blue bowl for my weekly giveaway. So I always keep the names, and in the chance that I have to do a new draw. So I am going to do a new draw, and I check Instagram, and I check my email, and I check spams and all those different areas. Plus, always, if you've sent it and I say I haven't gotten it, send me a note, through your comment, because I always get notified there. So I do my best, and I always feel so bad when I have to pick a new name, but I don't have a lot of space to hold anything. I don't have furniture here. And we're not going to have as much furniture here as we do in Connecticut, so I need to be downsizing it anyway. So unfortunately, I do have to kind of keep things moving. Which all the long and the short is, I'm going to pick a new name. And the way it'll work is whoever wins, Green Terrace, if you want me to actually send you the listing so you'll know exactly which patterns apply towards the 5, because not like sets don't apply. I'm happy to, or you can find it on their site. You'll pick 5, you'll let me know which 5 they are, you'll let me know what email address you want them to send it to, and then I'll reach out to the owner. Okay, so in the meantime, I've been just mixing these names around while I've been talking. And let me pull out. I have 1. Okay, so our new winner for the Green Terrace 5 digital patterns is Kathleen Sullivan. You know what? I'll put you up against my iPad. Kath, oh, that's gonna, you know what? Let me pick up the name I just dropped and put it against the plain section where it's not gonna reflect. Kathleen Sullivan. Congratulations, Kathleen. Have fun picking out your digital patterns. Like I said, if you want me to send you the listing itself, I'd be happy to, so that you can see what they count towards it, and or if you saw it and decide yourself. Have fun, and we'll chat, and we'll get those patterns to you. That's the first notice of business. Second notice of business is after 1 week, I always give a reminder email for a winner, and I need to remind Carla Rigel, that you won the kit for the little bag and the stitching you stitch on there. So Carla, you have 1 more week to get back to me, please, or I'll have to pick a new winner. So I have the names for that, also in a little baggie. I have all my little baggies. Everything's sort of organized. So those are the 2 pieces of old business. New business, I'm rapidly realizing that a lot of you are Primrose Cottage Stitches fans, so maybe in the future I will pick up some more of their patterns for all of you. But this is this week's giveaway. It's called Deck the Halls. And I mixed them around when I did them this morning. I wrote all the names out this morning. Let me grab one. Pull apart them. Okay, so our winner is Sharon Mahan. Mahan? Sharon? Put it against here. Congratulations, Sharon. You won the Deck the Halls. So if you could get back to me with your mailing address. Again, I have the Gmail account listed down below. I have my Instagram account listed down below. Any way is fine. But if you get back to me, I will send that out to you. Congratulations. Okay, so that goes with that. Now, this week's, the giveaway section is never for, I always have notes, so the notes are right here. And I have 4 pieces of business I had to do for giveaways. I never have that much. I know a lot of you really enjoy getting a chance to try different flosses. And in the spirit of November and November colors, I decided to do something along those lines. And these are all 3 Threadworks over dyed flosses One is extremely variegated and two are, you know, much more of a solidy sort of piece. And I'm gonna show them against this blue, this denim, because I think they'll pop out more. So there are three. This is obviously the very variegated one. This one is a little bit more subtle. I don't know if there's much of any in there. These two might be more solids. And this one obviously gives you the gamut of colors. But I thought that all three matched really nicely. So that will be this week's giveaway. If you're interested in winning these flosses, please somewhere in your comment say the word brown. Because that's really brown. This week it's brown. So that's it. That is the giveaway. And that is the stitching. It was a long video. I knew it would be just because I had a lot of giveaway stuff to talk about and a lot of stitching to talk about. So if you don't want to hear life stuff, then have a fantastic week. If you are in the US and you do celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to you. I do not know if I will film next Friday because we will have family here. If not, it might be Saturday. I'll talk about that in life stuff. So keep an eye out, but things might be a little bit different taping schedule next week. But enjoy your week, however you spend the week. All right, now life stuff. We're back in Delaware, obviously. Yesterday was the big crazy day. Like I said, we had painters. The plumber was doing the water heater. Some other guys, framers, were doing something in the crawl space, and then something else with the firewall. I don't know. There was a whole bunch of different people, mostly outside actually, except for the painters. But every single room had nail pops. So every single room had to be touched up with paint. It's really amazing how they do it because you have this splotch of drywall in the middle of your wall. And I was like, how are you gonna do that? That it's gonna look like it's just been regularly painted. But boy, it's amazing. I remember we had the spots over here and they are completely gone now. And it just all looks like it was part of the painting. I can't do it. I did get a little bit more furniture. We have little tables next to this couch. And we have a dining room table at this point, rather than the hand-me-down we had brought down. To a dining room table so we can feed people on Thanksgiving and all of us sit in the one and not have like tray tables. And then we got kind of like a sideboard with a little kind of open hutchy type thing. I am fairly minimalist, as you've realized. So the decorating part will be interesting because I kind of overthink things, and then it'll be interesting. Let's just put it that way. So at some point, if I do ever get anything done, and it's not just these plain things, I will show you what I've got. But for now, everything's just empty. So yeah, this week is Thanksgiving. We are bringing down my in-laws and my mom, so they are going to get a chance to see the house for the very first time, and they're going to spend the week here. Connor gets out of school, well, he has classes this week, but his teachers are willing to let them do virtual. So Connor will be down here for the week and he'll just do his classes online. Unfortunately, Megan has a teacher that refuses to let them do virtual. So she has to go to class on Tuesday morning. So we can't grab her until Tuesday and bring her down. So her vacation will be a little bit shorter. She's only 2 hours from us here in Delaware. So at least it's a little bit closer and we can grab her and bring her back and she'll be here through the weekend. So I'm hoping for some nice weather so we get a chance to show the grandparents around. Be nice for the grandparents to, Megan hasn't been home at all. Connor was home for one short weekend. So I know the grandparents are really looking forward to seeing the kids and getting a chance to spend some time with them. And since we are all in one area, then they get to spend some quality time with them, which is really nice. Friday, I may or may not be taping, like I said. I'm debating. I could kind of closet my way in the bedroom. I'm curious how the yellow walls would show, though. I don't know if things would bounce too brightly off of that. And try to film in there. That's a possibility. The other thing is, I know that the grandparents want to take the kids shopping. Down here, there's a whole bunch of outlets. And I kind of would like, it would be nice if the grandparents just spent some time alone with the kids. I'm a firm believer that, you know, those are how your bonds are made. And I I'm going to see plenty of my children, and I see them more often than the grandparents do. So it would be really nice maybe if they just have that chunk of time to spend together, in which case then I could probably film out here. We'll see. I don't know, because I don't know exactly what each day is going to bring, what the weather will bring, and whether or not the day we thought we would take them, you know, to walk along the boardwalk on the beach is the day we can, or if we have to switch things around. If I don't film on Friday, I'm hoping to possibly film on Saturday. Everybody but Megan will be going back to Connecticut, I think, Saturday morning. So everything will be cleared out by the time I would tape. Megan, I'm not sure if she's going back to school Saturday or Sunday, but she would sleep in anyway, or she would kind of hang out and do her thing, so I could film. So that's the thought, that I might, if I can't film on Friday, then hopefully I can film on Saturday. How much stitching I'll get done, obviously, too, with everybody around, will probably be light. So it would be a short video, and you'd have a chance to, if you're busy over the weekend, see other people as well, because this one is obviously going to take much longer to watch. And that's about it. That's all I got. I hope you are well. I hope you are safe. I hope if you do celebrate that you have a fantastic Thanksgiving filled with whatever is best for you at this possible point in your life and time and everything else, whether it's a big crowd or a smaller crowd, whether it's maybe some virtual, I don't know. But however it works, I hope you have a lovely week and a lovely day. And for all of my non-US friends, I just hope you have a great week. I know my Canadian friends already had their Thanksgiving. Have a fantastic week, whatever you are doing this week. And I hope you get lots of stitching in, however it works out. And until next time, happy stitching.